When was the last time you felt sad, anxious, or terrified, which caused you to feel different and a little off? According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, going through a hard patch or experiencing strange feelings for an extended period may indicate something more serious. In our culture, there is still a stigma attached to those who suffer from mental illness. If we had a better understanding of the impacts of mental illness and were more compassionate, the battle against it would be much more manageable. Here is a list of signs and symptoms that may assist individuals in recognizing problems with their mental health or in assisting others. But first, a little reminder. Kindly subscribe to this channel to watch more interesting and exciting videos. Number 11, being depressed for an extended period. If your sadness has persisted for more than 2 weeks, this may indicate that you are suffering from depression. Sadness is something that every single person feels at some point in their lives. On the other hand, the usual sentiments of sadness improve with time. According to the findings of the American Psychiatric Association, one possible indicator of depression is an abnormally deep feeling of melancholy that lasts for 2 weeks or more. According to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, a feeling heavier than usual and difficult to snap out of demands quick intervention. Number 10, unpredictable shifts in mood. There is a possibility that you will be unable to determine the cause of the severe shifts in mood that you are experiencing. It may appear as though you change your mood suddenly and at random. The National Center for Biotechnology Information Study found that a person is more likely to experience positive emotions than negative ones. Nevertheless, it is natural for a person's feelings to shift during the day. However, one of the signs of bipolar disorder is having extreme shifts in mood, which can also cause changes in behavior and energy levels. Number 9, being overwhelmed with anxiety. At times, you may have feelings of being overly worried and may believe that you do not have control over your feelings. There will be instances when you won't be able to turn off your thoughts or put them out of your head. The National Institute of Mental Health identifies these characteristics as possible indicators of an anxiety disorder. Insomnia, irritability, and aches and pains that are out of proportion are also potential symptoms. If these symptoms have been present for over 6 months, you should consult a mental health professional. Number 8, keeping to yourself. Isolation and withdrawal from social activities are 2 other signs that may be present. It has been demonstrated that taking time away from other people benefits physical and emotional wellness. But things change when you consistently make excuses to avoid social gatherings in contact with others. If you want to avoid being with other people, this could indicate anxiety or another illness. Number 7, hallucinations and delusions. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, schizophrenia is likely the diagnosis of mental illness that is the least well understood and is associated with the most stigma. Less than 1% of people are affected by it, and it typically manifests itself in childhood, particularly in men. It is possible to have a fulfilling life despite having schizophrenia and despite widespread misconceptions to the contrary. Number 6, challenges to activities of daily living. People suffering from mental illness may have difficulty executing their daily tasks and difficulties in daily situations. According to the Australian Department of Health, a tough patch lasting more than 2 weeks to 2 months and interrupting your regular functioning may indicate depression or anxiety. Number 5, sleeping too much. It is estimated that between 10 and 18% of the general population have trouble falling or staying asleep. On the other hand, those who suffer from mental illnesses such as ADHD, depression, or anxiety are 2 or 3 times more likely to have sleep problems related to sleeping too much or too little. Number 4, drug abuse. If you suspect that you may be suffering from a mental disorder, you may have noticed that you have begun to abuse substances like alcohol or narcotics. According to studies, 1/4 of persons who have mental illness will turn to alcohol or drugs as a means of coping with the negative emotions of mania, anxiety, and depression. Number 3. Alterations to your weight, sudden outbursts of rage. A good number of us strive to get the ideal physical appearance. It may entail putting on a few additional pounds or reducing the amount of fat in the abdominal region. However, significant shifts in weight are occasionally a cause for concern and should be monitored carefully. An individual who is suffering from severe depression or potentially even an eating disorder may experience excessive weight loss. This can be related to both of these conditions. People who are struggling with mental health concerns may turn to overeat as a means of finding comfort in their lives. As a direct consequence, one may experience rapid or significant weight gain. Conversely, conditions such as depression can result in a loss of appetite, reducing weight. In either of these scenarios, it is strongly suggested that a mental health evaluation be carried out. Number 2. The feelings of guilt and worthlessness. Any one of us is susceptible to being plagued by negative thoughts. Thoughts such as, I'm no good, I'm a failure, or I'm worthless that come to mind frequently may be an indication of a mental health condition such as depression. Critiquing oneself regularly and having negative thoughts about oneself might make a person want to hurt themselves. It's possible that it could even develop into suicidal thoughts or the outright expression of a desire to end one's life. This is not a circumstance that should be treated lightly. It is in everyone's best interest to seek immediate assistance from a mental health crisis intervention service as soon as possible. Number 1. Desire to hurt oneself. According to studies compiled by the Mental Health Organization, 10 to 30% of people under 30 entertain ideas of harming themselves or ending their lives. There could have been neglect or abuse in the home, a loss, or a traumatic experience. Reach out for help from a trained expert if you ever find yourself having suicidal thoughts or considering hurting yourself. At some point in their lives, a significant number of Americans may struggle with challenges related to their mental health. Are you or someone close to you experiencing one or more of these frequent symptoms related to mental health? If so, get medical attention immediately. It is possible to more accurately diagnose and treat the underlying reason with a total mental health diagnostic assessment performed by a licensed behavioral health practitioner. You may be surprised to learn how common mental health illnesses are. Over 54 million people in the United States are estimated to be affected by mental or behavioral health disorders. We all go through difficult times, which can result in a diverse array of ideas, feelings, and actions on our part. The important thing is to be able to notice when our responses are not typical and may be an indication of something else. You may suffer from a mental illness if you have ever had the experience of being unable to control your anger, or if you find that you become angry more frequently than you used to. The intense sensations of rage may be trying to tell you something important about the stress, worry, or unresolved sadness you are attempting to avoid. This could be an indication of either depression, obsessive-compulsive disorder, or bipolar disorder. We've come to the end of today's video. We hope that you enjoyed it. Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.